In today's video, I am going to be breaking down how you can teach basketball plays. Now, there's 1.5 trillion different basketball plays out there, so this is actually quite interesting how you can actually teach it with very few players, because we all know that there's times where we just need to break down the initial action and teach that, and there's other times where we just may only have 5 guys in practice and we're like, or 4 guys in practice and we're like, I need to teach these plays and we got nobody. So let's get down and let's check out how we can all teach basketball plays. But really quickly, make sure to go check out my complete guide to coaching youth basketball. That is down in the description below. So on this app, I have 2 pylons, but in reality, I would not be using pylons. I would be using chairs. Chairs are bigger and wider than a pylon, and they can set screens much better than a pylon can set screens. So let's say we're running the Horns offense. We have guys in that corner, guys in the high post, and there would be normally a guy over here if we were actually running the Horns offense, but this is the drill. We don't have anybody over here. In a very simple Horns play, there's a staggered screen up top for that corner player. They get out here and it turns into a 3-point shot or into a screen and roll. Now this would be a secondary action. We're just working on the initial action. What we have is the defense and the offense. First person in each line goes. When this person says go, this is either the coach or a player. And player 1 is going to be using that staggered screen, and player 4 is going to be looking to defend player 1, either looking to go over top or underneath of these screens. Now, there are a few different things that I would like to teach. So first off, if player 4 tries to go over top, I would 100% say for player 1 to attack the rim on this side. Or if he's wide open, take the 3-point shot. If player 4 is able to stay with him, player 1 catches the ball on 2 feet, he could do a rip towards that right side, or he can attack back towards the middle and re-screen, use that pylon as another screener. But in reality, that defender would be coming out to defend him, but obviously chairs and pylons do not move. So he would be having to use that pylon or that chair once again as a screen and attacking down middle. So if you've got screens or staggered screens set up in your offense, now you can actually teach your offense with even just 1 player and just have them run off of screens. You can run it with 2 players and have an offense and a defense and run them off those screens that you would normally be setting in your offense. So as a very good example, let's say you run a 5-out pass and screen away staggered screen offense. Well, in this case, what we can do is have player 1, these guys setting up again pylons or chairs. I would again suggest chairs, and have player 1 run off of these screens, and depending on what player 4 is doing, player 1 may be looking for a shot, or he may be looking to cut back in, and this would be an easy layup. So when you're trying to teach your offense, I always like to basically break down my offense into very small clips, very small actions, because a lot of my plays will consist of 3 or 4 actions, and then the offense gets reset like a motion, or I may only have 1 action and it just keeps on resetting itself. So with those style offenses, if you are running a set play or a motion offense that has different actions, these are going to be extremely useful. If, for example, just screens in general are going to be really, really useful. Or if you run a screenless, which means no screens, offense like a 5-out drive and kick offense, we can have 2 lines, have player 1 drive, kick, and then player 1 can shoot. Now, the secondary level to this is after player 1 red passes out to 1 blue, he would then go and defend, and this would be a low rip or a high rip or whatever, or a contested 3, and he would try to get to the rim within 1 or 2 dribbles, depending on what your rule is when it comes to driving to the rim. And we can even add in secondary options too. So for example, we had 2 lines here. We can now set this up where we can have multiple lines. So for example, we could have multiple lines right here. So what we can have is 4 lines. We have a line here, a line here, as well as a line on the wing and a line in the corner. And what we can do is have player 1 drive, player 5 drop. This would be a kick. Now, player 5 needs to get into the paint within 2 dribbles. He now needs to kick that ball out to player 4, who will now have player 5 continue. Player 1 red stays here. We would have them with their different pennies or different color. If you have reversibles, they can do that too. Now, player 4 needs to attack the paint, and he's going to be faced with a double team. He's going to then kick that ball out. Player 5 is going to move off ball back to the corner, or he can move out to the point as well. There's different options. But either way, now, player 4 made that pass out. He guards player 1, 1 guards 5, and now it is turned into a 2-on-2 play or drill or game where now they need to try and figure something out. So for example, what I would suggest is maybe have player 5 set that screen on player 4. Player 1 uses that screen, player 5 rolls off, and now maybe they switch, whatever it may be, and he can attack. But they definitely need to have reversibles or at least a different color t-shirt to be able to figure out who's on whose team, and then you would just switch. So you would have essentially a team set up here that's on the same team as these guys, a team set up here that's on the same team as these guys. When they're finished, they switch lines, and then you would go for maybe 5 or 8 minutes, and then you would switch and have the red team over here, red team over here, and the blue team over there, and the blue team over there. Make sure to go check out my complete guide to coaching youth basketball that is down in the description below. I hope that this video gives you ideas on how you can teach your offense. If it does, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in my next video.